In 2008, Nokia pulled in over $76 billion in revenue and reigned supreme in the mobile phone market. Just a few years later, the once admired brand had all but vanished. Market share evaporated, leadership walked away, and bankruptcy seemed inevitable. Just as everyone was ready to count Nokia out, one man refused to back down. He took the reins and breathed new life into the company in the smartphone era. This is the story of Nokia's swift fall and its astonishing comeback. Stick around to discover the key decisions that accelerated Nokia's collapse and the 3 business lessons you can start applying right now. In the 90s, Nokia truly ruled the mobile phone industry. Revenues jumped from $7.5 billion in 1996 to over $75 billion by 2008, a tenfold explosion. Yet in that same era of dominance, nothing hinted that a single moment would upend everything. In January 2007, Steve Jobs took the stage and unveiled the iPhone. One press event overnight defined the future of telephony: sleek design, a lightning-fast interface, and a revolutionary touchscreen. Consumers had never seen anything like it. Rather than sound the alarm, Nokia's engineers laughed it off, calling the iPhone too expensive to build and too fragile. What they missed was that buyers no longer just wanted rock-solid reliability. They craved an intuitive, touch-driven experience. By 2008, the market was already shifting. HTC and Google launched the T-Mobile G1 on Android, and dozens of rivals were rolling out smartphones. Once self-assured, Nokia belatedly recognized that the iPhone wasn't a niche. It was the new standard. Nokia's answer was the N97, a 5-megapixel camera, slide-out keyboard, built-in GPS, and of course, a touchscreen. Branded as the iPhone killer, it flopped disastrously. Sluggish performance, an unresponsive touch panel, and Symbian, the company's legacy operating system, undermining every feature. When the N97 hit shelves, Nokia's App Store offered just 500 titles, while Apple's App Store had already surpassed 100,000. The N97's failure was a stark signal. Nokia's only path forward required a radical break. In 2010, Stephen Elop stepped in as CEO and penned the infamous Burning Platform memo, warning that Nokia was literally standing on a burned-out deck. His next move? A landmark partnership with Microsoft and a bet to rebuild Nokia around a completely new operating system: Windows Phone. In September 2010, Nokia surprised the world by appointing Stephen Elop, formerly Microsoft's business division chief, as its new CEO. At Microsoft, Elop had earned a reputation as a change agent, steering the Office team into the cloud era and delivering record financial results. Nokia, however, was in desperate need of a radical overhaul. On his very first day, Elop locked down the company's headquarters. No cameras, no phones, secured doors, and a closed cafeteria. Employees gathered in a specially built hall, sensing that something unprecedented was about to happen. When Elop took the stage, he opened with a stark confession: "I've come to the conclusion that we are standing on a burning platform." He went on to explain how rivals were moving faster than Nokia ever had. Apple's iPhone had redefined the smartphone and drawn millions of developers into its powerful, closed ecosystem. Meanwhile, Symbian, the backbone of Nokia's devices, had grown cumbersome, slow to update, and ill-equipped for key markets like North America. Elop framed the competition as a war of ecosystems, where success depended not just on hardware or software, but on app stores, cloud services, advertising, and strategic partnerships. He warned that without a completely new direction, Nokia could no longer defend its leadership. Though some found the speech motivating, its leaks sparked panic. Word of the burning platform spread like wildfire, tarnishing Nokia's brand, depressing sales, and shaking investor confidence. Yet Elop remained unfazed. He had engineered the crisis to clear the way for his next move. Days later, in an emergency board meeting, directors were ready to greenlight his proposal: abandon Symbian entirely and adopt Microsoft's Windows Phone as Nokia's sole smartphone operating system. By February 2011, Nokia publicly committed to phasing out Symbian and building a new Lumia lineup on Windows Phone. Microsoft backed the plan with billions in R&D, marketing, and co-development funding, while Nokia would supply hardware expertise and manufacturing know-how. The goal was to forge a third smartphone ecosystem alongside iOS and Android and disrupt the market. Stakes were sky high and costs ballooned accordingly. Over the next few years, Nokia poured resources into regaining lost ground and restoring trust among customers and shareholders. It was a bold gamble, one man's speech and strategic pivot, forever changing the destiny of a once unstoppable mobile titan. Despite launching the Lumia 80710 on Windows Phone 7 in late 2011, Nokia soon reported a €368 million loss in Q2 2011, compared to a €227 million profit the year before. The device's radically different interface forced users to relearn basic smartphone interactions, and strict Windows Phone requirements, single-core processors, minimal storage, no front camera, left Lumia trailing behind dual and quad-core Android rivals. Worse still, the Windows Phone Store offered only a few hundred apps versus tens of thousands on iOS and Android. By the time Lumia launched on October 26, 2011, most buyers had already chosen Android or iOS. As 2012 and 2013 rolled on, it became clear Elop's loyalty lay more with Microsoft than with Nokia. Board members complained that he made unilateral decisions without proper consultation, and the choice to go all in on Windows Phone was announced just a day before the world learned of it. Between November 2011 and April 2014, Nokia sold 52 million Lumia units, a number Samsung hit in just 2 months. The Nokia-Microsoft partnership had become a debacle, and Elop's reputation lay in ruins. In 2014, he returned to Microsoft when the Redmond giant acquired Nokia's Devices and Services division for $7.2 billion, bringing many Nokia leaders with him into a new mobile devices group. When Elop joined Nokia, the company held 33% of the global mobile market. By his departure, it was under 3%. Microsoft wrote off the deal, selling the division in 2016 for just $350 million and refocused on cloud services. Nokia, meanwhile, was left with a €4.9 billion hole in its balance sheet and no top-tier leadership to steer its mobile business. By all rights, the storied brand should have vanished, but somehow it survives. Meanwhile, as chaos engulfed Nokia's handset division under Elop, another arm of the company was quietly thriving. Nokia's Solutions and Networks unit, once unprofitable, came under the leadership of Rajeev Suri in 2009. Having joined Nokia back in 1990, Suri knew its culture inside out and identified exactly which resources his division needed. Over the next 5 years, he turned it into a rock-solid, profitable powerhouse, the very ballast that kept the whole company afloat. When Suri was named CEO of Nokia Group in 2014, his first priority was restoring financial health. He announced ambitious restructuring, deep cost cuts, a slimmed-down portfolio, and streamlined operations. But rather than slash indiscriminately, he reinvested in Nokia's remaining strengths: networks, digital mapping, HERE, and advanced technologies. Using cash from the Microsoft sale, Suri kicked off a massive share buyback. Fewer shares in circulation plus dividend payouts immediately drove up the stock price, quickly restoring investor confidence and giving him the financial leverage to move on. In 2015, Nokia made the boldest acquisition in its history. It bought Alcatel-Lucent for $16.6 billion, gaining control of the prestigious Bell Labs and its portfolio of over 29,000 patents. With 5G on the horizon, the next game-changing wave in telecom, Nokia aimed not just to participate, but to lead. A period of intense R&D followed. By 2018, Nokia unveiled its ReefShark chip, custom designed for 5G, delivering up to 84 gigabits per second bandwidth, occupying 50% less space, and cutting power consumption by 64% compared to previous generations. It was a technological leap that put Nokia ahead of its rivals. Nokia then shifted rapidly to a B2B model, forging partnerships with telecom giants like AT&T and Vodafone. Commercial 5G contracts skyrocketed from just a few dozen in 2018 to over 100 in 2020 and more than 300 by the end of 2024. Today, Nokia commands 29% of the global 5G equipment market outside China. In its 2020 press release, Nokia announced its equipment now supports over 6.4 billion mobile subscriptions worldwide. By 2022, Suri's restructuring had added more than $20 billion in annual revenue, up from under $6 billion before the handset crisis. Nokia now trades around $25 billion in market cap, roughly one-tenth of its historic peak. But for the first time in nearly 2 decades, it has stability. While Elop closed his chapter with a dramatic handset failure, Suri carried Nokia's torch forward, eliminating needless risks, doubling down on core strengths, and resurrecting a company on the brink of extinction. We'll wrap up today with 3 key lessons from Nokia's story. 1. Never underestimate a technological revolution. In 2007, the iPhone wasn't a niche product, it was a wake-up call. Companies must stay vigilant for disruptive innovations and be ready to pivot quickly rather than dismiss them as too expensive or too fragile. 2. True leadership balances risk with stability. Stephen Elop showed courage, but a too radical message can erode confidence. By contrast, Rajeev Suri prioritized financial resilience and long-term investment, revitalizing Nokia and winning back investor trust. 3. Double down on your core strengths. After the consumer handset setback, Nokia rebuilt itself by focusing on networks and 5G, areas where it held unique expertise and patents. That pivot turned a struggling division into a global growth engine. These 3 principles, technological vigilance, responsible leadership, and leveraging your core competencies, can help you protect and accelerate your own business. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time on Business from Zero.